Go ahead and get started, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name's Lucinda Cassidy, and I'm the Vice President for Development for Meals on Wheels Central Texas. It's my pleasure to be able to interview and introduce our program manager for our Mike's Place program. So, Mikhayla, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what brought you to Meals on Wheels Central Texas.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Mikhayla, and what brought me to Meals on Wheels was I graduated from Texas Lutheran University in Seguin with a degree in social entrepreneurship, which is a combination of nonprofit work and business. So I'd always wanted to work with the elderly population, and I've had a passion for them for a long time, my whole life. And I had worked for Meals on Wheels Waco in the summers of my during college, and so I knew I wanted to work for Meals on Wheels. So I originally applied for the Mike's Place volunteer coordinator position, and then eventually got promoted to the program manager position. So I knew I'd always wanted to work at Meals on Wheels in Austin, and it was just a great opportunity that opened up.
Well, we're glad we have you because you're a great addition to our team. So one of the things that I kind of want us to talk about is the history of Mike's Place, to let people know how it got started, especially because this is our 10-year anniversary, which is fantastic. So do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So Mike's Place started in 2010 by an employee of Mike's Place of Meals on Wheels, Sue Ellen Mills, and her husband had Alzheimer's disease, and she would bring her husband to work because she didn't have any care at home for her husband. So it just showed the need for a respite program for caregivers. So with Sue Ellen Mills then started Mike's Place and named the program after her husband, Mike Mills.
That's great. So since then, can you tell us a little bit about how the program runs now and what that looks like? What's a day in a Mike's Place program?
All right. So a day in the Mike's Place program. So we start off with the caregivers dropping off their loved ones to the program, signing them in. We get them seated, have some breakfast, and we have like this whole 30 minutes of just kind of talking, playing games. And then we usually have a special activity. So that could be art therapy, music therapy, live jazz, a craft, so a bunch of different things that we do. And then we would have like a break and then do another activity. And we also do exercise. We do 30-minute exercise with some kind of some classic tunes for our participants. And then we have lunch, and then we have bingo, which is very, very sacred to our participants. So that's always really fun. So yeah, I mean, the program has just, grown, and we've been able to kind of retrofit the program to make it more dementia friendly by offering like a quiet space for our participants to go into if they need a moment. Providing more education for our volunteers and having a dementia-specific volunteer training. And I know one of the volunteers, a lot of the volunteers have been there since the beginning, which is awesome because they love the program so much. And I remember one of the volunteers told me that, they were having to actually recruit participants for the program, and now that's really not a problem. So, which is really great.
Yeah, we have really dedicated volunteers, like they're phenomenal. So
yeah,
we wouldn't be doing what we do without them. So speaking of volunteers, what kind of training do the volunteers go through?
Yeah, so when I came on board, there wasn't really a dementia-specific volunteer training. So so I created one. So because they would just go through the meal delivery training and just kind of get thrown in to the mix at Mike's Place, which sometimes is not awesome. So, so the training they go through, so we come in, we go over like what a day in Mike's Place would look like. So we go through some Alzheimer's Association trainings, and I have a PowerPoint I've put together, how to communication techniques for to communicate with people with dementia or Alzheimer's, just different things to watch out for. Yeah, so just being a little bit more prepared than, because communicating with someone with dementia is a lot different than communicating with someone who doesn't have it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, can you tell us what's the process for someone in the community who needed this sort of support? What do they have to do?
Yeah, so a caregiver would have to reach out to me, and we would have them go through a trial day at Mike's Place. So they would pick a day, they would come, and the caregiver and their loved one who has Alzheimer's or dementia would come and sit in the program for a day, and we'd see if it was a good fit, and then we'd give them some intake paperwork, and if they were a good fit, then they would continue in the program.
So that's phenomenal, and that sounds like it's a pretty easy process. Could you tell me how many participants we currently have in the program?
Yeah, so we have about 17 participants right now.
That's phenomenal. That's really great. And since things have changed a little bit, could you talk about how the program looks like now in regards to COVID and what we're doing to continue to serve everyone?
Yeah. So right now, obviously, we are not meeting in person. So how we kind of had to get creative on how we could still be in communication with our participants, keep them engaged. So right now, we actually we do a Mike's Place online. So once a week on Wednesdays, we all gather on Zoom, and we say hello, and we do our exercise, and we do different activities. So I have a picture of us doing some activities, a screenshot of us online together.
Oh, that looks so fun.
Yeah. So and so we have different themes, because every week we'd have a theme at Mike's Place. So now we have a theme for our Mike's Place online. So that theme that you just saw was Academy Awards. So some of our participants dressed up in suits, and we all dressed up. Excuse me. So it's just really fun to come on and do like some trivia. We do Pictionary. And we listen to music together. We're going to have someone next week from the Austin Nature and Science Center to give a presentation. So we're still trying to keep a little bit of Mike's Place in there, but just kind of retrofit it for online. And another thing we also do are activity boxes. So every couple of weeks, I call it Mike's Place in a Box. So we send out our volunteers from Mike's Place, come and pick up these boxes and deliver them to their participants' homes. So our participants will get different things in their boxes, like a craft, a fact sheet. Here's some of the boxes that we.
Oh, those are super cute.
Thanks. And we have themes for our boxes as well. So one of our themes was camping, and so we put like a s'mores kit in there. We put some coloring sheets, crafts, and then we had last week's theme was carnival, and so we put some retro carnival toys in there, carnival prizes in here. And one of the caregivers actually sent me this picture of one of our participants with their
that's so great.
And so it's just a way, because a lot of the caregivers have reached out to me and said that they're having a really hard time keeping them engaged and finding activities for them to do. So this is just a moment or a thing for our caregivers to have for their loved ones to be able to have something for them to do during the day. And here's another picture. I thought this one was really cute. This one, this is our July 4th
Oh, that's so festive. I love it.
Yeah. So sometimes they'll wear some of the stuff that we send in the pictures for Mike's Place Online. And we've also been doing a birthday parade. So we had our first one last week, and here's one of our participants at their birthday parade.
Oh, how old, do you mind me asking? Was
Oh yeah,
there?
she's 79.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it was really great. We all met at the corner and decorated our cars, and she really liked it and brought some cupcakes for her. So we're just trying to be as engaged as we can right now, and yeah, and just try to still be a part of their lives, even though they're not currently with us at Mike's Place.
Sure. I mean, it sounds like you guys are real still being active, still having participants join and engaging them. And so that's phenomenal that we're able to do that even
Yeah,
right now. So
yeah,
great
exactly.
job. Do you mind sharing one of your favorite client stories?
Yeah. So usually there's a lot, but my a lot of my favorite client stories kind of center around like unplanned things in Mike's Place, and like just how the participants just kind of bounce off each other and them finding kind of a place in Mike's Place, like a purpose. So one of our participants who has passed away, um, when he initially came to Mike's Place, he was just like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. And then we gave him the task of bingo. So when we gave him the task of bingo, his demeanor totally changed. And so he was our bingo caller for as long as he was there. And here's a picture of him calling
Aw.
bingo. And we got him a shirt that says "Don't make me use my bingo voice," because he was a former Marine and his voice was so loud. I would go during bingo out in the hallway and I could just hear him all the way to the reception desk. So it just brought him a lot of joy. And I want these people, even though they have like a disease, it doesn't define them, and they still have things they can do. And I want them to help them find like a purpose um, and find community in Mike's Place. I mean, and we talk about Mike's Place as a family, and we really are. We take care of each other, and a lot of our caregivers are really good friends, and a lot of our participants love coming and seeing each other, and they ask about each other when one of the participants isn't there. So they remember each other and really enjoy the community. So.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it's really helpful to have a community, right, to support you and so that you can reach out to. So
Yeah,
that's great to
exactly. Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
So also on that note, what about a volunteer? Is there a volunteer that has maybe um, had an impact with you and your current role with Mike's Place?
Uh, yeah, definitely. I think one of the volunteers, her name's Judy. Her husband actually originally went to Mike's Place when it started, and she actually came back after her husband went through the program and passed away, and came back to volunteer, and which I wouldn't even think of wanting to come back and volunteer after your family member went through that. But I mean, she's been there she comes like twice a week, and just shows so much love to these participants, and I really admire her. And a lot of our volunteers are just, I mean, because this program takes a lot of commitment, and I mean, it's 4 hours out of your day, or 2 hours out of your day. And I mean, you really have to be engaged with these people. And a lot of our volunteers are just so awesome. And a lot of them have have experience with people with Alzheimer's, and they're just so joyful and happy to be there. And I know they make our participants' days, and they definitely make mine. So.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Yeah.
great. So what makes serving our community important to you and your current role with Meals on Wheels, and how does that impact um, people in Austin?
Yeah. So for me individually, one of the things that really drew me to the elderly population was just listening to people's stories and having them share their stories. And I mean, they have lived through so much and they have so many stories. And one of my, favorite things about sitting with our participants is just hearing their story. And that's one thing we really try to push in Mike's Place is their story and that they're people and they're not a disease, they're a person. So, and also another thing for me is just making people happy and helping relieve some of the stress of life away from our caregivers, and even just for like 4 hours if they can go and just like take a nap or just have lunch with a friend. And I'm really passionate about bringing joy and happiness into people's lives. And with with Mike's Place, with its impact in the community, I think that Mike's Place, first of all, it's the only respite program in East Austin. A lot of them are in West Austin. And so it just is a huge need in our community over in the East Austin area. And I think we make a big impact with, we deeply care about our people, and they're not just people that come in and out. It's just, we're a family, and I think we just provide that much needed respite and provide community for our participants. So, yeah.
That's lovely, and I agree with you. I think you've proven that, right, in the sense that you've built this community and this family. So one of the things that we've been asking all of our program managers and leads is, what's the one thing that you want people to know about Mike's Place? Besides the family aspect, because I think you really, I think that's great. And I think people will take that away, that it is building a community. But what else can people take away from this?
Let's see. It's really hard.
And if it is the family stuff, that's okay, because it is.
I mean, we're just really passionate about what we do, and the people that are there are here to serve. And it's just, we're really passionate about what we do, and we're really behind helping others and helping people in the Alzheimer's and dementia community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think a question came in about our where is Mike's Place located? So do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Mike's Place is located in the, actually at the Meals on Wheels office. So we're kind of our own little room on the first floor off to the on the east side of the building. So we're actually at the office building.
Yeah, so we're located at on 5th Street. So anytime if you want to, we also have a virtual tour that we provide too, and we used to do our live tours as well, but that's where they're located. So just wrapping up and thinking about the 10 years of the respite care program, Mike's Place, what can people do to help us right now? And
So right now we're obviously not having a program, but if you have any like supplies for activity boxes, like crafts or coloring pages, or like any other like things people can do at home just activities for our participants to do that they could donate if they wanted to.
Yeah, so if anyone has any additional questions, please feel free to contact Mikhayla or visit our website, mealsonwheelscentraltexas.org, and you can shoot us an email there as well. We'd love for you to sign up for our next Thursday segment. So if you visit mealsonwheelscentraltexas.org, it's under Get Involved, Events, and you can sign up. I hope everyone had a great time and learned a little bit more about Mike's Place. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to type them in the chat right now. Otherwise, thank you, Mikhayla. That was really enlightening and we really appreciate it.